So many things have been happening lately. I'm Figure Skates with your celebrity news. I'm going to talk about Tekashi 69 really quickly. I guess he just got a record deal or something like that, and he's in jail, and he ratted on a bunch of people, so a lot of people really are mad at him and want to retaliate against him. And the funny thing is, all of these news media sources are talking about him like, oh my gosh, can you believe this guy? Can you believe what he's doing? He's talking about other people? Can you believe it? And it's just like they're making money off of content. Like they're monetizing content, pretty much exploiting other people's personal information. I don't know, it's just this kind of weird covert extortion almost. Covert extortion. I'm so deep, bro. I'm so deep. I know how the world works. But it's so hilarious to me. When it comes to rap, it has so many preconceived notions about what rap should be. Rap has gone through so many different phases, and when you're a fan of music, or if you're a fan of anything, you'll attach to it, and it's hard for you to see outside of that. So with rap, though, it's like gangster rap, it exponentially grew rap as a genre. That's when people started making a lot of money in rap. And so that's when people started paying attention to it and perceiving it as somewhat important, because when people see successful people, they admire it. They validate what they're doing, because at the end of the day, money talks, I guess. But yeah, newscasters are the biggest snitches ever. All they do is talk about other people's bad stuff. And they're saying that they're informing everybody, but they're trying to get ratings like everybody else. And I don't like to be all conspiracied out or whatever, but I think people are trying to make a living. They kind of lose sight of everything because they're in the eye of the storm. I don't know. It sounds so stupid, like I'm some poet or something. I'm not a poet, but oh my God, that hurt my ears so much. But I think the height of rap music, well, I don't know. Rap has gone through so many phases, and there was so many different times. People say the golden era is the 90s, and they're usually talking about A Tribe Called Quest and Far Side and other stuff. But the 90s are when gangster rap came out too, and that's when the money started coming in. But I don't know, gangster rap really hit its peak with the East Coast, West Coast battle, and that was all hyped up by the media. I'm pretty sure Tupac and Biggie, they were trying to get ratings. Think about it. Making a diss record for the public, for the general public to consume is that's the ultimate form of snitching. You know what I mean? It's oh my gosh, it's the ultimate form of snitching. You're creating an entire product for everybody to listen to, and it makes them want to listen to it over and over again, and it gets stuck in their head when they're not listening to it. And the context of what they're listening to is your enemy. And I don't know, oh gosh, snitching is such a weird thing. It gets misconstrued and lost in the sauce, you know what I mean? People just kind of they think gossiping is acceptable, even though it's the worst, most counterproductive thing you could possibly do. But I don't know, it kind of gives you wisdom at the same time. So life is life. But I don't know. I'm just some stupid guy, and I just made this up in my head on the top of the spot. So I don't know. Who knows if I even know what I'm talking about? I don't know. Yeah, it really just depends on the playing field that you're on. That's what it comes down to. But I don't even like any of that stuff. I don't even like associating with anybody else. I just like trying to take care of myself, and it seems like everybody else wants to talk about random things. But okay, so recently I've been taking Celexa 20 milligrams, and it's because I had really bad mental health issues with depression and anxiety. I was going through a lot of stuff. I had a lot of problems, but there's a comedian who recently committed suicide, and his name is Brody Stevens. He's a really funny comedian. He's an acquired taste, I will say that, but he makes me laugh my ass off. And I know I'm talking like he is still alive, but his videos live on forever, and all of his content and all of the memories of him live on forever. Everybody loved him, and it's just crazy because I don't think he felt as respected as he wanted to be, but he was on medications. Like he was taking so many different medications. He went through so many phases of medications. He took this and that and this. I don't even remember all of them, but I just remember he would even joke about it on stage in his comedy. The way he did stand-up comedy was so funny. He was like, "You should laugh for cadence alone." And like, I know I'm butchering it, but like, he would just say just funny stuff and random real stuff like, "I take Lamictal." I take Lexapro. I take Klonopin. And so I know I'm laughing, and it's such a tragic story, but he was brilliant. He could take anything, and I don't know, like, yeah, he really was hilarious, and he can make a lot of real dark stuff funny. And some people think that comedians can be peculiar and be a little off and have a kind of a warped sense of humor sometimes, and that can be true, but this guy was he could be really sweet. He could be a real nice guy. That was that was one of his things. I'm a good guy. But yeah, he had that documentary series. I forget what it was called, but it was about how he had that manic breakdown on Twitter and he got 5150'd. Yeah, a lot of people in the comedy community and a lot of people close to Brody, they were scared for him. They wanted to get him help for himself. They had to outsource other people that would help Brody help himself. But yeah, he went to a psych ward. I know he was there for a long time. In a psych ward, when you get 5150'd, it's usually for 3 days. And he was there for like a week or 2 weeks. And that's usually, I think it's like 5250. I forget. But yeah, 5150, the 5150 is the legal, that's the law, that's the code for a 3-day hold on someone who is going to hurt themselves or hurt someone else or is going through psychosis where they're like, are they hearing voices? Are they hallucinating and seeing things? There's a lot of different reasons that you can get a 5150 and you have to be in a hospital for 3 days, and they have to observe you before they think you're safe to be released back into the general public, and that's sort of how it works. I went to the psych ward twice, and I had a really weird. The first time I went there, Jesus Christ. Hello. Oh my God, dude. Hello. That sounds good. Okay. The first time I went there, I thought everyone was just like Nurse Ratchet but the first time I just had a super negative experience. And then the second time it was definitely like difficult, and I had to, readjust to certain things. And I took a new medication that I never took before, and I had to adjust, my body had to adjust to that. But all in all, that second time, which was the most recent, that was a good experience, and I grew a lot and matured in that experience. But yeah, so I've taken Zoloft, and I've taken Celexa, and I've taken other stuff too. But Zoloft I started taking when I was like 20. I was 21 years old, and I got it prescribed. I was having anxiety, and the doctor thought I was depressed. And looking back, I probably was depressed, but I've been in denial about depression before. Like when my depression got super serious, I was in denial the most about how depressed I was. And so anyways, I got Zoloft, and it does help with anxiety, but it's an antidepressant. I took that, and I don't take that anymore. But I just recently started taking Celexa, and I've been on that for, I've been on that for like few months, something like that, little more, 4 months. And to be honest, it's been a great experience. Like I was so depressed, I was not eating, I wasn't taking care of myself. I was getting really mad. Like I would get rage. And I think it was because I wasn't eating a lot, and I was just so frustrated. Like I was living in my car. My situation felt so impossible, and it was so bad. But thankfully, I just accepted the help. The first time I went into the psych ward, and I took, like, they gave me gabapentin. They gave me something for anxiety. So like they gave me that, and they just gave me so many different things. Like I remember taking Ativan, and I took like some sleeping medication, and like I took a lot of gabapentin. Like they just like would give it to me whenever. And then like I stopped taking it cold turkey, which is really dumb to do. And I smoked weed, which you're not supposed to do. I will admit that. But like when I smoked weed, I like thought like my brain felt so crazy that I thought I was never going to be normal again. And now you can see I have become normal once again. So everything's fine now. You don't have to worry about me. But anyways, it was really bad. Like really bad. So from that experience, I did not want to take medication ever again. But this time when I went into the psych ward, they gave me Celexa, and I had to adjust to it. I really did not want to take it. And I even like had some confrontations with the nurse staff because I didn't want to take it. And they were about to kick me out of the hospital. But I cried a lot, and then they felt really bad. But they also were mad at me because I was like being kind of like super passive aggressive with them. And then, but then I cried a lot, and they felt really bad. But then I started taking the medication, and they put me in a better hospital. So that's the end of that story. But yeah, so now I'm on 20 milligrams of Celexa. I'm eating better. I'm not getting depressed. Like I would get depressed and be not motivated and like stuff like that. But then I would just cry. Like I would cry and cry and cry, and I couldn't do anything. Yeah, I'm not like, sometimes you get kind of overtaken by emotions. The way I see it is we're humans, and our bodies will just kind of do stuff. Like our mind and our bodies will do things. And I just kind of acknowledge that I'm going through something instead of like just being shocked and thinking, why am I going through this? Why am I going through this? Like, it's just something that I'm going through. Other people have probably gone through it. And I just know, like, if I really feel like something's super wrong, then I'll reach out. But, so Brody Stevens, he took a bunch of different stuff. he was on, I'm pretty sure the last medication he was on was Lexapro. That was the thing he was taking. And he just like, he had a battle with himself. He had this inner turmoil, and it made me feel like, it made me empathize for him, because like it just sucks. Like it sucks that he was feeling like that, because he wanted to like do something to feel better about himself. And I think he like took the medication, then he didn't want to be on the medication. And then he just was like battling himself and others, and like the program of what you should do with mental health. And I don't know. I think I don't know if he was even battling. I think he was just super indecisive about what he should do to help himself. I don't want to blame the system. I don't want to blame Brody for not getting enough help, but I think everybody should, I think in the most diplomatic way possible, I don't know, everybody's got to improve, but I definitely think Brody could have done stuff. I don't know. It's so weird. Like the things that were so hilarious about him, like when he would be on stage and he would challenge the crowd and say, "Oh, what? You don't think I'm funny? Sorry, I'm not Crystalia. He went home. He's sitting in his $20 million house while I'm being real and you can't handle it," or whatever he said. But I think he felt inferior in his position. But the thing is, he was such a unique person, and he should have, like, it just sucks that he didn't realize that, like, he didn't acknowledge that or whatever. Like, everybody liked him, and like everybody liked that they could relate to him in some way. He would say weird like buzzword stuff. He would say weird buzzwords like familiarity and like relatable. Relatable. I don't know. Like Theo Von's talked about him on a video, and everyone's talked about him in the documentary. And like, I don't know. He just had a lot of, for lack of a better phrase, lack of a better word, he had demons that he just couldn't handle. I don't know. And it just sucks. I remember when the first time I saw Brody, I went to this like death squad thing where like Brian Redband was like, he put on the show, and it was he put on a live podcast at the Comedy Store, and Tom Green and Steve-O were there. And I love Tom Green and Steve-O, and I was really excited. The show was free. It was cool. Then Brody Stevens was there, and I don't think maybe I saw him on Comedy Central a long time ago, but I didn't like remember him necessarily. He was so hilarious with everybody, with Tom Green. Him and Tom Green were really funny together because they're just like hyper weird guys, and I just thought it was really fucking funny. So Tom Green and Steve-O, they both kind of do their own videos and whatever. And they were talking about digitizing old VHS video footage, because they have all this old footage that they're trying to convert to digital high definition. And it doesn't like turn it magically into high definition. It just makes it so you can access your old VHS videos in a file on your computer. So they were talking about like digitizing, and they're like, Brody was like, "Oh, do you think you can help me digitize that?" And like they were like, "Yeah, let's have a digitized party." A digitized party. So like, I don't know, Brody just kept saying these weird catchphrase things, and I just thought it was hilarious. And like him and Tom Green were talking after the show. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Tom Green is like 6'4", something like that, like 6'3", 6'4", something like pretty tall. And Brody is 6'2", that's tall, but 6'4", that's like NBA basketball player height. And Tom Green, like, I didn't think he was that tall, but it's kind of worked to his advantage when he used to do street pranks, because a lot of people aren't gonna like try to mess with someone that big. That's usually most people's decision making. Oh, they're bigger than me, then I don't want to challenge them anymore. But yeah, like Tom Green 6'4", Brody 6'2". Like I was just like, I don't want to bug them, but I wanted to like. I wish I said hi to Brody, but I did get to, when Tom Green was walking off the stage, I did get to shake his hand. I tweeted him later and I said like, it was cool shaking your hand. It was surreal shaking your hand, because Tom Green always says surreal. It was surreal. So I said it was surreal shaking your hand, and then he followed me on Twitter. And then he stopped following me, like 6 months later or something. But it's all good, I guess. Just like maybe let's talk about it sometime. Like, because I was kind of upset, and I just like, I just want to get my point across. That's it. That's all I just want to say. Okay, bye. Kisses. But yeah, like I wish I got to meet Brody, because like he was a people person. I kind of think he had like, maybe he had some kind of Jekyll and Hyde thing going on, because he was like a people person, but then he would get really, he was so in his head too. And he would just kind of like, I don't know, like everybody loved him, but then he was kind of polarizing, and I guess he did have bipolar, and maybe that was why he was polarizing. Who knows? But yeah, like he was taking Lexapro, and Lexapro was the last thing he was on, and it was weird because he was like, it's really crazy. There's a live stream, and it's kind of disturbing knowing the information now, posthumous, after Brody's death. It's crazy, like watching the live stream on his Periscope, and he's like, is this supposed to be happening? I feel kind of weird with this medication. Like, I don't know, like if this is working, and I just feel weird, and I don't know. And he really kept stressing. He really kept like beating that point in of like, I feel weird. I think he was so scatter-minded. That was kind of part of his persona. I don't know, like it just sucks because like there was signs, but it wasn't like apparent signs, and it just sucks, because maybe if he took it more seriously, taking a medication, like had people observe him and make sure that he adjusted to the medication and he was stabilized, like, and it just was more official than like him going to a doctor's appointment, just a casual doctor's appointment, and then the doctor prescribing you, and then you go on about your daily life and you're adjusting to this medication that's like, it's not safe. It's not smart. But I don't know. Suicide is such a it's such a mysterious subject. It's dark and it's heavy. It's a lot of different things, but it's mysterious because death is mysterious, as is life is mysterious, and no one knows what happens after life. They just know you die, and they don't know where you go. But okay, so when I took gabapentin, or whatever that the stuff was, I took gabapentin and I took a bunch of other stuff. And then when I got out of the psych ward, I stopped taking everything cold turkey. Then I smoked weed, and I had a crazy, like, I thought I was gonna die. I thought my mind was never going to be the same again. And then for like a whole year after that, I was just like shell shocked for like a whole year. I didn't think I would ever be sane again. And it was just crazy. But so like, I know that feeling of like, I don't like these medications. They're messing me up. Like I was trying to get help, and now the side effects are just outweighing everything. Now they're not even helping. It's just this weird, it's such a weird thing, because like you can figure your stuff out. I think Brody had just kind of a bad mentality when it came to certain things. I think He should have taken his medical issues, mental health issues. He should have taken those things a little bit more seriously. You know, I know he tried. I know he's a smart guy. I know he's a decent, good guy. But I don't know. Like, I wish he were still here. And I think a lot of people do. It's hard to see someone struggle, especially someone that brings like so much joy in your life. It's like, how can this person make me feel so good about myself and they don't feel good about their self? It's really mind-boggling. I've been in a lot of different positions in life, and I don't know, as of right now, I feel good with my medication. Like, I'm not getting like crippling depression where I can't take care of myself and I can't help myself and be self-sufficient. And yeah, I'm just like, I feel good about where I'm at in my life right now. And if I didn't, I would like try to reach out somehow, in whatever way that may be. But yeah, R.I.P. Brody. This is really way later, obviously, but whatever. Like, it's just like, I genuinely like relate and empathize with that guy, and like, he's made me laugh so hard, and he's so unique, and it's like he's incomparable, and it just sucks. Like, it's a real tragic, unfortunate situation, that's for sure.